PC24 RET ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ। I wish you a very good day today. It's Friday. I know people are excited because weekend is just a few hours away. So many people have programs for weekends. I don't know what realtors have on weekends to do, but as far as we are concerned, people I know about in real estate industry, they are all damn busy on weekends. So we don't have any weekend. So when I see TGIF, oh my goodness, what's that means? TGIF. Oh, thank God it's Friday. All right. So nothing changes in our life. We have the same 7 days, 24/7, 365-hour schedule. But a few people can appreciate that fact. They think realtors make tons of money. Well, realtors share tons of obligations too. The obligation to make you safe in a real estate transaction is the maximum we can do. And any wrong advice given to you means we land ourselves in a big trouble. So in order to stay away from those troubles, we have to upgrade our knowledge. So when we upgrade our knowledge, we stay away from doing business and we try to make sure we sharpen our weapons and our tools to provide you the best service. Anyways, this was just a side talk, wasn't intended. As usual, we will be going ahead with our program agenda, which is a quote. We talk about the personality, and then we have a guest today from BC, Abbotsford, Mr. Amritpal Sura. He usually comes on Thursdays, but because we didn't run the program on Thursday, which was yesterday due to my office meeting, so I requested him to give some of time to you so you can be more knowledgeable about Abbotsford, BC market. So the quote that I have today for you, I don't even remember where the quote I just lost it. Alrighty, I got it. So the quote is from a person, his name is Herbert Bayard Swope, Herbert Bayard Swope. He was a German, and he was the first winner of the Pulitzer Award for reporting in 1917. He was a journalist, and he wrote extensively. Based on his articles, a book was written which he actually co-authored with James W. Gerard, and the title of the book was the German inside the German Empire in the third year of the war. This was what he co-authored with James W. Gerard, and he gave a very famous quote. I don't know if you have heard it, but I have heard it a couple of times. He says, I cannot give you a surefire formula for success. I cannot give you a surefire formula for success, but I can give you a formula for failure. Try to please everyone all the time. So that is a surefire formula for failure, but he could not give you a surefire formula for success. How cool is that? And this is normal. In management, if you are in a management position, you cannot please each and every employee because you have to take some tough decisions. And so does it go in every field you talk about. You can't please everyone. Someone is going to get annoyed and angry and may, hurl swear words at you. So this was the quote of the day today. So that means stop pleasing people and just focus on what you're doing. And this is where we are. We will soon talk about what CMHC is thinking about capping its first time home buyer incentive program. They started this program a couple years back. There are 9 months left for the program. The program hasn't itself gained a huge traction. So because the prices are falling very rapidly, now the government has to rethink how they are going to share equity. Like any lender, the government is going to take some decisive action on that. So before we move further, I would like to introduce our guest of the day today. Let me see if I set the screen up for him. Oh yes, I did. Alrighty. So here we go. Welcome,
Good morning.
Mr. Sura, to this TV show. Sorry, I forgot to take off the timer.
How are you guys doing?
How are you
Looking
today?
good out there. Yeah, I'm doing really well. Yes. So interesting things happening, obviously, on a day-to-day basis. Like you said, a realtor's job doesn't end 9 to 5. You could be working at 1 minute past midnight for sure.
Yes.
8 days a week.
It looks very easy to many people, but if they see the legal hoops we jump through, I think they will understand that we do have a fiduciary duty toward our clients. Doing something wrong means putting all the commission that we made on a deal at risk. And the funny thing is, we spend way more money marketing the property and they don't even realize that. I have seen that happening, and then the easy phrase that I have heard from them is, oh, those are your business expenses. Okay, they are business expenses, but at least there should be business income as well. So
It's true.
like the construction workers or the companies that do big construction projects. So when they launch a project, they have a budget. They anticipate a particular amount of income. Then they anticipate how much they're going to spend on it, and this will be their net gain after the project is finished. No company sets itself for failure. They always want to make some cash. So then they keep measuring it alongside during the different stages of construction, how they are going. They see the variance. Okay, we budgeted, let's say, $200,000 for concrete, but now we are seeing we're going up to $50,000. They have to make adjustments somewhere in order to stay on track. In our case, okay, so every house is a project. On the same analogy, every house is a project. So it doesn't mean that, okay, I made money from the previous deals, now I'm going to spend all the money on this transaction. We do spend in advance, but all I want is for people to understand and appreciate that our business is strictly professional business. It's not just fun for us. It's a big responsibility of delivering you peace of mind, satisfaction after the transaction is completed, and no problems after that forever till you call us again. Hey, I want to move up or move down.
Right, exactly. It's important having that budget perspective. Like you said, each transaction will gain a substantial amount of income, but again, there's costs involved. So if you've budgeted correctly,
Yes.
you should be able to facilitate that. And at the end of the day, first and foremost, it's our duty to serve our client first, which
Absolutely.
is embedded in our sort of framework throughout our office, and on your side too as well. Your client always comes first. So at the end of the day, there's like you said, there's lots of hoops to go through, and not the layman doesn't know the hoops, right?
Yes.
So that's why everybody doesn't want to spend the time to continuously upgrade themselves. I mean, we as local realtors, we have to go in, every year and a half, prepare with the new modules in order, if there's been any changes with the rules and regulations, we have to know about this.
Absolutely.
So it's constant learning and providing the services you can to your clients.
That is very true. Thank you very much for your input, because that is really something home sellers and home buyers must understand. Specifically, look at the price of gas. Look at the hours realtors work. It takes a lot. But anyways, this program is not to emphasize on what we do, what we don't do. The program is basically, it is just a side talk. So Mr. Sura, what do we have for your neighborhood?
So the neighborhood wise, we've seen a lot of different categories, fluctuate a little bit. So we've got, 1-story detached minus 0.41% in Annieville. And Annieville is in the North Delta area. Nordell has gained 2.52%. Scottsdale, again in Delta, is minus 0.82%. Sunshine Hills, Woods, 1.93% up. So, lots of different things are happening there. Another area in North Surrey has gone up 6.93%. Port Kells, however, came down minus 4.69%. And that's the 1-story detached. So if we go into what everybody's really interested into is the single family homes. Bear with me, I'm working through papers. I'm not as set up as you are.
No
single family detached in the Cloverdale area, Clayton minus 4.2%, Cloverdale, BC minus 3.09%. And we're going to jump into Abbotsford. So Abbotsford is split up into 9 different areas. So Abbotsford East minus 0.67% down. Abbotsford West 0.50% down. Aberdeen is down minus 1.26%. Bradner minus 1.74 down. Central Abbotsford minus 0.83% down. Matsqui minus 2.39% down. Poplar minus 1.48 down. Sumas Mountain has seen an increase 5.73% up, and Sumas Prairie is minus 3.7 down. Now, all of these are a reflection over the last month. However, if you compare a yearly difference, there's been a substantial or a massive change. So if we look at Abbotsford East, in the last year, it's been plus 34.36%. So
34.6%?
34.36% up.
Up from the last year in Abbotsford. That's phenomenal increase, right?
Yeah, so although we're seeing a decline in the value of the homes at the present time, it's based on what's happened currently in the last 1 to 3 months. So when a lot of buyers or sellers come along and say, okay, well, we've seen a big hit, but over the last year, you've actually seen anywhere between 20 and 34% just in the Abbotsford area, as far as the property values are concerned. So I think it's important for people to know that there's always that moving trajectory for, there's always ups and downs for the value of the homes for a short period. But all in all, I mean, you'd address it in the same way as far as the GTA is concerned. The trajectory has been on a sharp incline if you look at it over the last 10 years, right? So um, my recommendation to most of my client base is to understand that it's a long-term vision that you should have for your real estate transactions, because you're gonna acquire safety and security, shelter for your family, or it could be a single guy or a single girl just getting into the market in order to have a secure future, and an investment at the same time, right?
Absolutely. Well, the numbers are quite amazing. They're getting higher and higher, as I can see from your report, except for monthly downturn in most of the municipalities. It always happens everywhere. The monthly data is different than the yearly data. We will soon be talking about the data from the overall Canadian perspective. I did speak about it last time, day before, about how the market overall in Canada is changing, which was a discovery in itself. Things are not, overall Canada is not 2-digit anymore. It has come down. It has come down about 7 to 8% now, and we were looking at 22% couple months back. So this is how the government is thinking of putting a cap limit on the equity share program, which they dubbed as first time home buyer incentive program, which is crazy program. So that's true. So we are looking in a very different perspective these days. Houses are still lingering longer on the market in this area. What about your neighborhood, Amrit?
So there again comes another really good question, because before, in the last 6 months at least, people were like, okay, anticipating, we'll put a sign in the ground, have open houses, and then review offers. Well, that's all well and good in a crazy market scenario, but now sellers are also kind of respecting the fact that the process could take anywhere between 1 and 6 months, depending on your price point. And how we illustrate it sometimes to the seller is with a triangle. On the top of the triangle, you have price. On the bottom left, you have location, and on the bottom right, you have time. So if you have all the time in the world, then we don't have to change the price.
Yes.
We can't move the location, so that's stagnant, right? So at the end of the day, if we're looking at, if we don't have time, then we've got to be flexible with the price. Now, determining how we work, if there's a list price, of 14 lakhs, which is 1.4 million, and would the seller look at offers anything below that? Sometimes in the previous 6 months, people will say, well, okay, I'm legally obligated to present all offers. However, there's a number in mind. What's the magic number? I mean, if we have something on a legal document, we have to present it. You're doing your job and duty to respect your client. And also, at the end of the day, we've got to act as professionals and be forthright with the other agent as well, present all offers, and see where it goes. So there might be a variance in the previous year. There'd be a 95% list price to sales price ratio, right?
97%.
97% would be an average kind of target.
List to sold to list price.
Sold to list price. So in the really inflated market over the last 6 months, they were going, 101% sold to list or 113% sold to list. So now people are going to start seeing that home that they were keeping an eye on is still on the market, and they start asking questions. Well, what's wrong with it? Well, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
You just haven't had the opportunity to look and provide a suitable offer at the present time.
Yeah.
So yes, there's going to be listings that stay on the market, but as far as some of the older realtors that I've talked to in the office, it might be regarded as a market going back into a normal buyer's market over the course of this next year, right? So to all the peers that we have is just stay positive and forthright to your clients, and be ready for a wild ride as that's concerned. I mean, you're still going to see activity, but it's the price point that really has to be looked at, and then motivation. If the seller wants to, the vendor wants to move quickly, then it has to be appropriately priced. Terms and conditions are going to be a factor as well, right? So I'm seeing on the downsizer aspect of things where older clientele, they want to downsize. They're now starting to do the cash offers, right? So they've sold, they've got a window of opportunity, and they're saying, okay, we know what's going on. They'll hire an inspector for the day that they do the initial viewing, or they'll do 2 viewings back to back. One day we'll do an initial viewing, and the second day we'll organize, okay, we're going to come in with our inspector. We need a 1-hour window at least to do a thorough inspection, and then you'd go in there with whatever conditions are necessary to serve the client at the end of the day. So I find that terms and conditions also play a huge part in when you
absolutely they have very significant role to play. The terms and conditions determine how things will be concluded at the end of the transaction. So as we were talking about, and I would like to share this screen with you. If you can see, these are the current mortgage rates available in Great Ontario. So for Ontario, the fixed rates, they start from 3.09% and they end all the way down to 4.54%, depends on what term you pick up. So first, the 1-year term has the lowest possible rate at the moment. If you look at the screen, you will see the lowest rates are 3.09, and then if you want to have an open mortgage, for example, you're thinking, oh, maybe I will flip this house within 1 year. Okay, then go for 6.30%. Nothing wrong in that. You can, otherwise you're going to pay tons of penalty if you break your mortgage, unless you want to port your mortgage to a newer home, which will be higher in value than the current home. The mortgage is going to go higher, only then you can port your mortgage. If the next home purchase is lower in value than the current home, you will still incur a lot of penalty when you break your mortgage. So many people do not understand how this portability works. I would like to give you a quick overview of this thing. Let's assume you currently have a mortgage of $350,000 on your current home. And now you are moving to a bigger home. You are upgrading to $1 million home, and you need at least, let's say, $700,000 mortgage. Rest you have your own money. So now your current mortgage balance was $350,000, and you are moving to $700,000 mortgage, which is double the current amount. Okay, so and the term left on your mortgage is 2 years, but the deal for the next house is today or never. So you speak with the bank and you tell them, hey, I'm buying this property, can I port my mortgage to this house? They will happily do that most of the time, unless there are strict criteria that prohibit you from porting the deed. And the house has to be in the same names as now. Do not change titles. Keep husband wife on the next home. If you change anything, everything will be re-evaluated. Now, moving from $350,000 to $700,000 with 2-year term left. So how does bank actually do that? If they cancel your mortgage, the system automatically calculates a penalty and sends an invoice over to you. But if you have bank account with them, they will deduct the amount from your account if they can. Well, bank have all the authority. But now, because you are getting a bigger mortgage, as long as you qualify for the higher mortgage amount, so this is what they will do. They will keep $350,000 as is, but they will change address of the property on this. So now the collateral has changed from this house to the next house. So that's one thing, and they will give you a second mortgage for the remainder $350,000, and they will match the term because this mortgage is ending in 2 years. They will make sure the other mortgage ends in 2 years too, because nothing is being cancelled, so you do not pay any penalty. So understand this. It's a remainder portion that they write a mortgage for you, and they say, okay, after 2 years, we'll combine this and give you a single mortgage. This is how you do not pay any penalty when it goes forward. But there are some banks who will tell you this because you haven't decided which house you want to buy now, but you have decided to sell your property. So you put your house on MLS, it gets sold, and then you return all the money. The system generates a penalty. Now the bank may give you some period within which you have to buy another house and seek mortgage from the same institution. Let's say they give you 90 days. If you find a house within 90 days and go to the bank for mortgage on that house, then they will credit you with the penalty they charged you before. I guess you understand it. So if there is something like you think of porting mortgage, make sure you have spoken to the mortgage department of the bank. Do not just talk to any Tom, Dick and Harry in the bank. Ask to be referred to the mortgage line, because those people can actually look up your mortgage and give you the right suggestion. So this was just a tip for today that I wanted to give you. The rates are kind of getting a bit confusing at this point. I was talking to some people and they were telling me Bank of Canada may not even increase the overnight lending rate by 50 basis points. I have no proof to that. I haven't read any article, but there are rumors doing the rounds. So I'm not sure about that. But if that happens, if Bank of Canada does not increase the overnight lending rate, it will signal the prices will shoot up again very soon. So make sure you take your next course of action ASAP. So look at the rates. The 5-year insured rate is 4.14% and 5-year uninsured rate is 4.59%. You are still being evaluated at 5.25% of the qualifying rate, and the prime rate at today is 3.20. So if you are looking to get a variable mortgage, you may get a variable rate for as low as 2.25%. So 2.25% is so close to 1-year term of the fixed mortgage. If you are thinking that you may be moving within 1 year, go fixed rate for 3%, 3.09%. That will keep your payments constant, but it will also not give you any anxiety attack. So we'll go back to our guest. We'll talk a bit about how the market is in his neighborhood about mortgages. I hope he may have some information. So, Mr. Sura, these were the Ontario rates that I just discussed. How are the mortgage rates in your neighborhood? You have any idea? If you don't have, then I will understand, because this is just a flash question.
So mortgage rates again, I think it'll be consistent from coast to coast, right? At the end of the day, we're going to find we're definitely going to find similarities because it's Canada. Now I'll take a deep dive into it and make sure that we've got some clarified mortgage information next week. That way I can talk on it with some facts and figures.
Yeah.
Obviously, I refer normally to the app that you've set me up on, the MPolo app.
Mopolo app. Yes.
MoPolo app. So it's definitely a talking point. Now, what I do understand is for every $25,000 reduction, there's approximately $100 to $112 that the buyer would be saving, essentially. Am I correct in thinking this?
Say that again. Can you repeat it?
So a reduction by a seller by 25,000 on their list price would reflect the buyer payments anywhere between $100 and $112.
Yes, more or less.
Okay.
For $100,000 mortgage, we're looking at a ballpark number of, let's say, between $400,000 and $500,000. Depends on where they qualify. So when you're saying 1/4 of 100,000, yeah, it may be around 1/4 of that price. It may be $100, $120 reduction, or $150, whatever the case may be, in their mortgage payments.
So a lot of those questions do come up when we're serving a buyer. They'll say, okay, well, you know, what's going to make the seller be on our side? Well, we try and translate this story to the seller's agents, and sometimes the seller's agents will be, you know, flexible enough to convey the message. Otherwise, you see the property doing its own reduction over the course of the weeks, right?
That's right. So a fantastic conversation going on, Mr. Sura. Stay with us. We forgot to run our commercial break. We'll come back within a second. Are you looking for a reliable legal office that can handle your closing in the most effective manner? If yes, please get in touch with Rakesh Joshi at 416-213-8600. Joshi Law Office provides all the legal advices about real estate law, business law, immigration laws, notarization and affidavits, wills and trust. Give them a call today, 416-213-8600. Are you looking for reliable immigration services? If yes, contact Sukhi Paul at 647-296-4575 or office phone number 905-790-8877. They are located at 219-220 at 7956 Torban Road. It's right at the intersection of Torban Road and Steeles Avenue West. Contact them for all kind of visa services. Finding an honest and diligent insurance and investment advisor is a rarity these days. If you are looking for great advice, contact Mr. Bhupendra Mane, who is the regional director of Cosmos Financial Center. They are located at Union number 830 Top Flight Drive, Mississauga. The phone number to call is 647-448-6229. Give them a call today. Is your business suffering from performance? If yes, it is the right time to call Ravinder Duggi at 416-807-7986. She will find out the weak points and the points where the performance issues are paramount and help you fix those issues. Give her a call today. Do not be late. Are you looking to buy or sell your home or any commercial real estate? If yes, Call me today at 647-333-2273 or 647-328-3279. I provide services in real estate and mortgages. I am mortgage broker with Akal Mortgages Inc., where when we say yes, we stand behind our promise. Reach out to me today. Do you want to shop right without burning your pockets? If yes, please visit Monisha Discount Warehouse at 377 Burnhamthorpe Road, East Mississauga, Ontario. They are the best. They have all kind of Indian, Pakistani and other local stuff that you can buy at literally throwaway prices. Contact them at 905-361-0773. Monisha Discount Warehouse. D.P. Jain is a well-known name in the fields of accounting. You can contact him today at his cell number 416-305-0080 or his office number 905-790-9327. Once you start working with him, you will never want to leave him. He is 5-star professional. Call him today. D.P. Jain Professional Corporation. PC24 RETV is heard over so many different channels. If you want to promote your business for free, call me at 647-333-2273. You can also send your artwork to contact@paulcheema.com. We are here to be partners in your business success. 647-333-2273. Thank you very much for waiting. We are back online at this point. I did receive an email from RBC talking about how the Banks of Canada is going to respond. We'll talk about that very soon. And Mr. Sura, do you have a hobby?
Do I have a hobby?
Yeah.
Yes, I like to basically I quite enjoy a good rigorous workout, calisthenics, and also cooking.
You like cooking,
Cooking
huh?
is one of my favorite pastimes. So it takes me the furthest away from my actual duty. So what I normally do is because I'm purely vegan. I enjoy cooking Indian style with a bit of fusion. Make my own masalas and then see what they come up. The old traditional dal tadkas and all that kind of stuff and parathe. So
Okay.
it becomes a very exciting process because you don't normally think, all right, well, I'm just gonna gun some atta and then make some nice mithe parathe, right?
Mithe parathe. Well, as far
Yeah.
as your cooking is concerned, well, we are a team. I
Oh,
love cooking. I even made samosas, what you call dosa, masala dosa at home, and my kids
oh wow,
love the dosa that I make. Butter chicken is our favorite dish. We're
wow.
learning more and more butter chicken, shahi paneer, and I can cook everything because I have been living alone after grade 11. So
Okay.
I used to eat at a restaurant, and there we would bribe a waiter. We'll give him
Hmm.
some money, and regardless of how much we ate, he will just say, ਇੱਕ ਕੋਲੀ ਦਾਲ ਦੀ ਲਿੱਤੀ ਜੀ ਦੋ ਰੋਟੀਆਂ ਲਿੱਤੀਆਂ ਸਾਡਾ ਬਿੱਲ ਉਹਨੇ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਸੀਗਾ ਫਿਰ that was
Oh
college time.
wow.
And another hobby that I had from childhood, photography fascinated me. And ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਿਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ the photography was through those what you call analog cameras. You have to remove
Hmm.
the parallax, upper and lower level hemisphere have to coincide exactly over each other before you take a picture. That was, I used to have a Pentax camera at that time. So I used that camera a lot. I even shot marriages of my friends' sisters and marriage
Wow.
in my own family. My photos came perfectly fine. So those were very uncertain times when you will keep taking photos, but the results will only be seen once the reel gets developed. I don't know if you are born in
Not
that
easy.
generation or not, but that is my generation. So we'll have those spools of films, Kodak or Salora. So we'll take them to photographer, develop them, and then we'll have to wait a couple days. And then we'll go and see, oh my God, this got blurred. And I remember an instance where a photographer forgot to put in the reel and he kept taking pictures and he was beaten by people because he spoiled the whole marriage.
Oh God.
Yeah.
So you didn't have your own dark room?
I did have my own dark room. I used to develop black and white, not colored photographs. When I was practicing as a fingerprints and handwriting experts in civil courts, I did have my own chamber there. So,
Okay.
and we are not allowed to tamper with the evidence. So we'll go to the courts, take snapshots of signatures, writings, any document that we are going to examine. Then we were not allowed to take them to a photographer for developing. So we had to develop in our own lab. So I had that little balloon kind of, I don't know what you call, where you put the negative and it projects image down there, and then you put those three solutions, then You develop, then you wash, then you preserve. Some process I totally forgot now. So photography has been my best hobby even today, other than electronics. I started shooting some videos. I just I just got a drone couple months back, and I love doing drone photography. This is so amazing and gives me like, it's like, I get high when I'm seeing things from height. You look at those images, I'm getting more and more familiar and comfortable with flying drone. Initially, I used to be very scared. Like, I was scared, oh, my drone will fly away, and what if it hits someone? But I've been getting out of that feeling now. And look at this image, this little clip I took in conservation park just close by. And I was so comfortable flying it. I'm still honing my skills to be better at drone flying.
Now, do you also require permission from the local airport authority before you
Well,
fly?
for this kind of shooting, using using a drone which is less than I would say 250 grams, you don't need any permission. You have to be careful
Oh,
because the drone is geo-logged. Geo-logged means you can, if it sees that this is a restricted area, it won't let you fly. The drone will not take off. So I have started
so,
using DJI drone now. So then if
so it's
if you
already.
still want to fly in that area, you have to unlock that. So when you unlock
Oh,
that, the DJI platform sends a request on your behalf, and then you get an approval. It comes within minutes and says, okay, you can fly. And if there are altitude restrictions, you cannot fly beyond that altitude, regardless how much altitude you have set up. The drone will not go past that altitude. So this is something that I so enjoy. I go out, take my drone. Drone is always in my car these days. So wherever I stop, I just start shooting, and this is becoming kind of more and more common because my fear of hitting buildings or people or losing my drone, they kind of vanished. So I'm very comfortable doing it.
were you when you were a young boy in India? Um, did you fly kites?
I did, yes,
Okay, okay.
I
So that's
did.
part of
A
the
lots
excitement.
of them, a lots of them.
Yeah.
We'll be running in our knickers and PJs to catch the, the broken kites, right?
Yeah.
There used to be contests, but those were the good old times because the sky was open, people didn't have phones, life wasn't as fast as it is now. So the time was in abundance, and you could still live very happy. But look where we are
Yeah.
now. It's been getting crazy every passing day. But this was just a sidetrack to what we're talking. So I will just talk about Bank of Canada is going to hike. So the rumors about Bank of Canada not increasing rates are untrue. And the RBC Economics report, it's right in front of me here. And I can also share with you all if you want to read with me as we go. If you look at this screen, it says the overnight interest rate is widely expected to rise by another 50 basis points on June 1st. That will make it 1.5% as the Bank of Canada continues its efforts to fight inflation. The hike will build on Bank of Canada's 50 basis point increase in April and 25 basis point increase in March, with more increases likely in the months ahead. Inflation is running at the fastest year over year pace since the early 1990s. So inflation is kind of Tom and Jerry race, right? Have you ever seen Tom and Jerry race, Amrit?
It's an
One of my
ongoing
favorite
race, isn't it?
cartoons.
Yeah.
It also says, and the economy is running very hard. Okay, so and say the evidence of economy running very hard is still strong GDP growth and a multi-decade low level of unemployment. We expect GDP growth for Q1, which will be released next week, to come in at 4.5% above Bank of Canada's last published forecast of 3%. So that is going to go up the unemployment, the GDP growth, sorry. Against that backdrop, the path to at least a more neutral level of interest rates, estimated to be in the 2% to 3% range for overnight rate, is one of little resistance. So what they're saying is, against this backdrop of low unemployment, rising GDP, which is higher than what Bank of Canada expected, nobody is going to oppose the return to normal overnight rate of 2 to 3%. That means higher interest rates. And then say, there is a question here, whether the rates need to rise above neutral range to get inflation back under control. So far, surging inflation has been as much a result of extremely strong demand as supply is limited. Higher rates should work to address some of that pressure. Indeed, the initial impact of rising interest rates is already being felt in the housing market, where resales have cooled significantly. So that is so true. The house values have fallen beyond expectations. People are still selling if they have to sell. They are saying Bank of Canada might raise the overnight rate to 2.5% by October. So 2.5% rate increase is expected, Mrs. Sura, in the interest rate. So imagine what's going to happen to the variable rates and the fixed rates. Fixed rates are determined by the 5-year government bonds yield over 5 years, but variable rates are governed by this thing. In the light of all these things, I would like to quickly talk about CMHC. CMHC has had a program that they launched a few years back. I think maybe 2 years back, I guess. If I'm not wrong, I kind of trying to remember. Where did I lose that email? I think I lost that email. So what they're saying is CMHC is trying to limit its loss or gain to 8%. That means if the house value goes lower than 8%, their cutoff is 8%. So they will only share up to 8%. If the growth is higher than 8%, they will again limit their share to 8% retroactively. But I don't know how much you know about this, Amrit, but this program was give 5% for resale purchases and give 10% for brand new bookings, the new build houses. So if a buyer has 5% down payment, they will pay, the government CMHC administers the program. It's $370 billion program, and they will give you 5%. That means 5 plus 5, now you have 10% down payment. But if you're buying a brand new build for 10%, they will give you 10% on top, 20% down payment. But the thing is, this program didn't take off as they thought, because they limited the price. Okay, the maximum purchase price for these houses, if you want to utilize the program, is around $770 something. But where do you find a house for $772,000? None available in Greater Toronto area. I'm not sure about your area, Abbotsford, but here it's not available. So, and the second thing, many lenders in Ontario, Do not appreciate that, because that is also a kind of loan that has to be paid off when the house sells. This is the program administered in 25 years, or when the house sells, that is when you have to repay that 5% with equity portion that the government will share with you. It was only about 20% utilized as per the information I received. It's maybe available on CMSE website. I do have here. So it says the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation, which administers the program, will limit its share in both the appreciation and depreciation of a property's value at 8% per year, not compounded. The moves to be applied retroactively in the event of any appreciation into a home's value, while the maximum loss limit will take effect from June the 1st. So any homeowner who have paid this more than this 8%, they will be reimbursed. Their annual limits will be changed. So it also says sorry, it was not $370 billion. I'm sorry for mispronouncing that. It was the 3-year, $1.25 billion program, and only approved $270 million worth of shared equity mortgages as of December 31st, 2021, with just $253 million in funds having been paid out to the first-time home buyers. So the limit they imposed for purchase price was $722,000. As of April, the average price in the major 3 markets such as Toronto, Vancouver, and Victoria were above $1 million and above $1.3 million in Greater Toronto and Vancouver area. So who could have used this program? This was a redundant program for day one. I don't know who the economists are or who the think tanks are, Amrit. They come up with the funny mindset and they start throwing this crap into the market, which doesn't fly. It's like giving you a car that you can never drive. Right?
Exactly. I mean, they wanted to sort of shake up and give the impression that they're assisting.
Absolutely.
However, I don't think anyone wants a third partner unless it's their parents.
Yep.
Right? So the government wants to
Mr.
share.
Sura works in Abbotsford, BC, but he serves a couple nearby areas too. So if you are moving from Ontario to BC, do not forget to give him a call. 778-999-1531. Is that right, Mr. Sura?
That's right, yeah.
778-999-1531 is his phone number. Give him a shout. He is definitely going to get the best deal possible. Do not be shy if you want to have some information about the housing market there. If you want to get a list of listings that are available in his marketplace, do give him a message. Text him at 778-999-1531. I'm trying to commit this number to my memory. That's why I'm saying it again and again. So, and I'm pretty sure you're going to get the best possible deal from him. Deal in a sense, he's not going to lose his commission. Don't take me wrong. Deal means house that you can cherish forever. House at a very reasonable price in his marketplace. And if he doesn't do the right job, give me a call. I will take him to task then. You have anything to say, Mr. Sura, before we close the program?
Well, we'll just work hard to serve the clients, and again, there's definitely some great opportunities here in the Fraser Valley. Although on the seller's perspective, they seem to think, okay, the prices are going too far down. It's still quite good if you compare it year over year, right? So at the end of the day, there's still a demand for BC real estate. We're happy to help and serve you along your journeys.
That's true. Thank you very much, Mr. Sura, for being with us. If it's your birthday today, well, happy birthday from me, Mr. Sura, and the entire PC 24 RE TV channel. We hope you enjoy your birthday and you go on another round around this beautiful planet, which is Earth. For those who have newborns in their families, well, congratulations. And we do wish them success in life, health, and wealth, and may they brighten every place that they walk in. The flip side of life is that we depart from this planet. We have to go back to where we came from. We are on a one-way journey. Sometimes there are small U-turns, but they don't last forever, which we call near-death experience. People who left this planet will pray for peace of mind for their souls, and may God Almighty bless them with a place in heavens. And the family members who got left behind, we are with you. We share your sorrow. Please remember the legacy those souls left for you to carry forward and pass it on to your children. With that thought, we'll call it a day. Thank you very much. Stay with us. Come back again tomorrow. Please like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon. I do not have those funny animation graphics that I could show here, but that's all I ask you. And remember, for any transaction you want to buy a house, please give Mr. Amrit Sura 778-999-1531 call or a text message or WhatsApp message. He's pretty fast in responding. Thank you very much, Mr. Sura.
Thank you.
Enjoy your rest of the day, sir.